Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Today is 2024. It is November the 3rd on the ancient moon calendar, 2025 on the ancient sun calendar, 5785 on the ancient Hebrew Israelite calendar, 10,066 on the ancient Yoruba calendar, and millions and trillions and trillions and millions of years on our original calendar, which is outside of time. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity, and in alignment and in accordance with the ancient Noahide laws as stated by this Holy Congress. This is a sovereign living ancient Article 3, Moorish American Al-Moroccan Universal Court action. We are the sovereign living justices, and Ego Sum, Pauline Denise Ritchie. My free chosen sovereign appellation is Light Tajiri Bey. All are in capitis diminution nolo, in red ink, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. We are capit et corpus juris legalis, which is our statement that we are the lawful and legal natural living head and body for our empire. All Moors are the divine, original, indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Israelites, Shemites, Cushites, and Hittites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our honor, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient empire state for Morocco, which is the Moroccan Empire. We're the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government. We are ancient Washington District for Columbia. We're the Universal Moorish American Consulate and the Earth-wide Article 3, Moorish American Consular Court. Today, we are being the law by our sovereign status, which is the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient Article 3 living United States District for Columbia Court. And we are the sovereign fiduciaries, original creditors, executors, trustees, divine ministers, possessors, grantors, grantors, and the title trustors for all causes for action. We are peace. We are one nation, one state, one empire, and one God. We hereby recognize ourselves and accept our sovereign ascension. We do possess in our custody all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. We, the true living God nation, are not at war, and we demonstrate all eternal, ancient, original sovereign rights at this time, and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc. Today, this Congress is in honor of and for our Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, whom we respect, we honor, we love him from the widest, highest, tallest, deepest parts of our being. We love him. We appreciate him, and after we are completed with our topics, any Congress members, that means anyone present here, who wills to make a brief statement to honor our Grande Sheik Taj, you please get your statements ready. Let them be under 1 minute, please, because of the number of people that we have here and the time of the topics that we have here as well. So today, we are doing exactly what our Grande Sheik Taj has told us to do publicly. So we don't have to guess about what he says and about whether he supports what we're doing and all of that. We don't have to guess about that because he has gone on the public record in favor of the people, because that's who we are. We're the people. We're the government. We're the law. and we're the all in terms of um, making and creating laws and enforcing them. So we are honoring him in the process of embodying and manifesting his words. And we don't have to guess what his words are. They're all over the public record. He is our national Grand Sheik. He is still our one and only Consular General. He is the Emir for our nation. He is the founder of the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And we give honor and the highest praise to our Grand Sheik, and not just to our Grand Sheik, but to all, each and every Moor. Because at the beginning and end of the day, you're all the sheiks and sheikesses for our nation. So we don't want to leave any honorees out. So if you can hear me, you are an honoree. So we are actually speaking to, not for, because no one speaks for any of the Moors. We don't speak for Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, and fortunately for us, we don't have to speak for him. He's spoken for himself on the public record. But we are speaking to him, to you, Grande Sheik, because we know that you can hear us. We will to thank you for a number of things, a countless number of things, but I just listed a few things that we will to thank you for. Number one, for standing in the gap for us while we slept, because we were some sleeping Moors. We were almost comatose. We were just enjoying ourselves sleeping, so we thought. But you were standing in the gap for us at that time. Number two, we thank you for sacrificing for decades and doing without so that we could rise. Number three, we thank you for countless hours of study and demonstration that you've done. Even while we were asleep, you were demonstrating and being yourself and showing us how to be ourselves. And for that, we are grateful. Number four, and this one's really important to all of us, we thank you for never selling us out for fiat. And number five, we continue thanking you for teaching even when seemingly there was no pay. You still taught, you still shared the information, and for that we're so grateful to you. Number six, we thank you for breaking the ugly, debt-ridden, dead spells off of us, and for opening the door for us to walk through and to conquer Islam. Number seven, we thank you for casting the perfect spells on us to wake us up. Everyone remembers where they were when they first heard your voice, when they first heard your words, your wizardry, your magic. We remember how we felt by having our instincts affirmed. So all of the things that we were thinking about ourselves, but we didn't have words for them, our nationality put words to those thoughts. Islam. And we all have a story to tell because of you. Number eight, never once did you ever turn us away, and you always publicly support us and have done so from the day one, to include the day that you agreed to be our Consular General. We are forever grateful to you for that. And number nine, you have always kept your word to us, and every word that you have stated is manifesting through us, for us, to us, by us, with us, because of you. And for you, we're just so grateful. We send our highest honors to you, Grande Sheik Taj. And we send speedy, speedy healing to you as well. Islam. And each one will have an opportunity to affirm our words. Islam. Knowing our Grand Sheik the way that we know him, we know that today is not just for our Grand Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, because he would not will for it to be that way. He would will for it to be for everyone. Everything that he has done, every sacrifice that he's made, and every hour of study and teaching that he has done was for all of us. Not just one of us, not just 5 of us, not just 20 of us, but for all of us. Therefore, today is for each and every one who is part and parcel of our government and the nations to actively participate in freeing ourselves according to the very words from our Grand Sheik Taj Tarik Bey. The highest compliment and the highest honor that we can give him is to be who he told us we are, to be who we know that we are. We honor him by living the very words that came from his soul. We honor him, you, Grand Sheik, by showing you that your words have life, energy, time, heart, and soul. We honor you by showing you that even your words, your energy, your life energy, your time and your heart for the nation is of the highest value to us, because we're not just paying lip service to your life, but we live according to the law that you woke us up to create and enforce. We believe every word that comes from you, and specifically from our very own mouths, Islam, because we're saying the same thing that you're saying, Islam. With that being stated, our Grand Sheik told us to keep doing what we're doing. He says that all the time, just keep doing what you're doing. And this is for all of us. He sacrificed much to get this nation to where we are today, and he has stated publicly what we should do, specifically this Congress and our entire nation. So he has spoken specifically about the things that this Congress does, and he's spoken about the entire nation as well. So he has spoken directly to and about us all publicly. So there's no question that we should be doing exactly what we're doing. That is promoting the use of gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium commodity instruments among the nations, because this is directly rebutting the fraud. So we will point you to his words. So for everyone, we will point everyone to the words of our Grand Sheik, so that there's no debate about what we are doing today and what we have been doing in continuing to create and grow our own economic freedom. Because that's what we're doing. As our nation grows, our economic freedom is of the utmost importance. On 2021, December 3rd, on the public record, our Grand Sheik Taj Tarik Bey was asked directly about economic matters, national economic matters, to include more sovereign Dollarium commodities, instruments, and money. We're going to place this link in the chat so that everyone can see what he said. You can watch the video for yourselves. Just one moment here, and we'll put that in the chat. And we'll also place that link under this video on social media, on YouTube, and so on and so forth. But he was asked directly about more sovereign Dollarium commodities money. And let me say this about our Grand Sheik. He has kicked the door in for us. He opened the door for us to know who we are. But we couldn't expect him to do everything, because we have a part to do. So we're taking it further. Just one moment. We're taking it further, what he has done, and we're ensuring that we stay true to ourselves in the process. So on this particular day, he was asked directly about Moorish sovereign Dollarium commodities money. And we did put the link in the chat. Just one moment. There's just a moment. Let's do it again. Okay. I want to be sure that the link is there. Just a moment. And we just put it in there again. Islam. Just a moment. Okay. So he was asked about, and this is what that link looks like. This is the video, and this is what it looks like, where he was asked directly about Moorish sovereign Dollarium commodity money. The title of the video is U.S. Animal Husbandry Training Interrupted, which was so appropriate. It's just like our Grande Sheik Taj to have that type of a title for the video. And in this video, the question was, and we've done a transcript just of each and every word. The transcript reads as follows. The question was, can you talk on the Dollarium and how we can implement it for use in the public or private use for commerce? That was the question to our Grande Sheik about Moorish sovereign Dollarium. Why are we talking about this? Because this is the inflection point that we're at right now, where we move forward with our own economic freedom. The Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey's response was as follows. What it is the spirit behind it. It is essentially, you've got to look at a lot of things as spiritual. By the standing up of the true heirs, what it does, it kills the other frauds because what they will try to do is they will try to allege that an instrumental claim coming from the true heirs is not valid, when the fact of the matter, what's been operating is the fraud. And by the heirs speaking up, because it's our estate, and really what that is a letter of credit against our estate to the world. So as a side note, he did say that Moorish sovereign Dollarium is a letter of credit against our estate to the world. He said that's what the Dollarium is actually, and it has more authority than all of those instruments that are out there. The deal of it is, by it being put out there, is what you call a spiritual challenge. Then the question to the Grande Sheik was expanded on what it was expanded on when he was asked, like anything else, does it need the backing of gold and silver? The Grand Sheik's response to this, his statement to this question was the fungibility, because the real deal is the people are the gold and the silver. The real deal of it is really the people are looking for what you call commercial trade in relationship to Dollarium, etc., in the world platform. Islam. The effect, he said, and again, we're quoting him directly here, the effect is not that immediately. The effect is what you call a countermeasure to the fraud that is out there. And by it coming from who it's coming from, the true heirs, it actually kills the bond system. It is actually a spiritual countermeasure. And I think, and this is him saying this, I think a lot of times people don't understand the spirituality of things. He said they look at it only from a physical, materialistic platform or perspective, and they expect an operative countermeasure to the fiat in its fungibility operations, and that's not altogether its purpose, not altogether. Its purpose is a counterclaim, or what you call a reversion of the state by right of claim of true heirs. And so what it does, he says, it exposes the existing system of operations of fiat and frauds, and in fact, doing so, it actually collapses the bond system of the human trafficking, although on the surface. He said, although on the surface you wouldn't see it that way, but those who have eyes to see recognize it for the spiritual value that it actually has, and that's the truth. Those are his words. He also says, and so what you're really going through is an experience of observing the dismantling of the Jinn operations and the demon platform of the United States Corporation Company, and heirs becoming more conscious of their responsibilities to ourselves, etc., and doing exercises and such operations or activities that demonstrate our knowledge of that right and that obligation. And in doing so, we are dismantling the system, because the actuality of it is that the land and the resources are ours by birthright. And any instrumentality is only in place for transferring or vouchering into those goods and services, etc. And of course, you're looking for the fungibility factor, which I comprehend. However, the actual issue is actually, it's a spiritual blow against the demon operations. And then he ends this portion of his quote with, that's a fact. So yes, this is a very strong statement coming from our Grand Sheik, and he literally stated the purpose for Moorish Sovereign Dollarium. Okay. And additionally, on 2019, November 15th, just 2 months after we, the federal government, proclaimed the gold standard on the public record, causing an outcry, the Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey spoke in our favor. And when I say our, I'm talking about all of us, this whole Congress and the grand body. He spoke in our favor regarding those who felt that we, the heirs, did not have the right to proclaim that we all are now on the gold standard, which we all are. He spoke about the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy walking on the yellow brick road on this date. He called the yellow brick road a reference to the gold standard. His words were, people are upset because so many heirs of the estate have said publicly, we're on the gold standard. Grand Sheik then mocked the naysayers, and you all can hear his voice when he says this, by mimicking their tone. He said, She got a nerve. She can't say that. And then he said, yes, she can. She's an heir. She being this body, this whole everyone. But just because you're looking at the FOFers and the trustees who have been in breach for decades and claiming to be the sovereigns who never were the sovereigns, and they are not Americans either. He said, just because people got used to that doesn't make it true, does it? He said, that's not an opinion, that's fact. Islam. So again, we don't have to guess about whether he approves of what we're doing. He's already stated on the public record many times, but particularly we just picked two times of him agreeing, and not just agreeing, but stating that it's the law that we create everything that we use. If it doesn't have if it's not created by us or approved by us or authenticated by us, that's all of us, then it's not the law, it's not real, and it's not even worth anything. Islam. So we're not speaking for him, he's speaking for himself. And we've provided the link for this first one. This second one is one that the second statement by our Grand Sheik is one that he stated often about the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road and what that means. Many times on the public record, and we grabbed a piece of that from the public record, but we couldn't find it over the last day. We looked for this video. We snipped it and we have it in our collection, but that it wasn't on the air, so I don't have a link to provide for that. But you can go out, and those who listen to Grand Sheik for years know that he talks about this, Islam. So these are just a couple of instances where we do not have to debate our Grand Sheik's intentions for this nation. Okay? We don't have to guess about how he feels about the law and about the nation and about what we should be doing. This nation is each and every one of us together, united, and we are all saying and stating the same things with one voice. We may disagree at times, but one nation we will always be. Islam. And the reason that I have these words on the screen is so that they are not mistaken, so that everyone can hear and see exactly what we're stating. Islam. As we proceed today, always keep in mind that this Congress is in honor of our Grand Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, but it is also for the uplifting of our entire nation, the nations, and all humanity. When we say of our nation and then we say the nations, we're talking about all the other nations and all of humanity. Islam. Now, our Grand Sheik spoke about fungibility. All of this is a process. It's not Rome wasn't built in a day. Babylon wasn't even built in a day. And so ancient Morocco wasn't built in a day either. We are the remedy, and today we are going to focus specifically on the United States Mint, and we have it in blue in capitis diminutio minima, which means first letter capitalized and the rest of the letters lowercase for a reason. It's not in death brackets because we've already leaned the madness off. But we're talking in continuation for fulfilling our national and universal responsibilities as stated by our Grand Sheik Taj Tarik Bey. We honor him by embodying and being the words that have come from his mouth. Exhibit A. On 2020, March 24th, which was Corona time or Crown time, this Congress, who is the people, who are the nations and the government, made the conscious choice to unify by universal Article 3 court action and place a Universal Commercial Code 1 lien on the U.S. Mint Corporation and the U.S. Federal Reserve Corporation. Here is the evidence for this call for action, and we'll go ahead and put this link in the chat as well as under this video on YouTube. Okay. This is the title of the video at Sheik Taj Bey channel. It's called Sovereign Court Action, Federal Reserve Corp. and U.S. Mint Corp. March 24th, 2020 by Moorish Americans. Now, Exhibit B. We presented the law according to due process and gave proper notification to all parties and parties as evidenced by this certified return receipt signed by the subject whose name is David Ryder, previously doing business as U.S. Mint Director, now in subject status by Universal Article 3 court action. And so this was signed by David Ryder on April 13th, 2020. And we did our court action the month before, March 24th, 2020, and then sent notification that we had done so. This is the back of the notification. So again, this was coming not from Sheik Taj Bey only, but from the Moorish National Republic federal government. Since 2020 March, we have actioned many other laws and commandments such as liens, levies, bonds, and all other, to state that gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium gold receipts are both lawful and legal tender, and that it is to be remitted and accepted in payment, and that all must comply with the law. What is payment? No, we're not buying things that already belong to us. Payment is an accounting mechanism by which we keep track of what's going on our estates and the estate. This court was the first to be in accordance and alignment with the law by not accepting any U.S. fiat debt notes in exchange for our work. We accept all natural exchanges. Our courts are interwritten by lawful and legal money only, because as you know, most courts are a commercial venue, with the exception of courts such as the Supreme Court, which we're that as well. Okay, so we are in alignment and accordance with all previous laws issued by this government. Some of our most recent commandments to our United States Mint system was to tribute proper coinage to be used on the land without debt, obtaining legal tender coinage directly from the United States Mint instead of from the U.S. Federal Reserve Corporation, by court action and sovereign command is proper for our nation. So anything that we are circulating as far as coinage comes from the mint, not from the Treasury and not from the Federal Reserve, quote unquote. Our system is a continuation of our ancient minting system as established by our foremothers and forefathers. Why are we bringing up all that we've done with regard to the mint? It's because we all must know that everyone must obey our commands. Every system, every subject must obey. The mint was to issue legal tender, coinage, that could be used as legal tender. However, during the sleep time and in the previous era, everything was coming from, enacted as coming from the U.S. Federal Reserve, when that's not how we set things up. The U.S. Federal Reserve was the one, the actors enacting using all capital letters to enslave. That's where the contracts, of course, in collusion with other actors acting as DTCC and so on, and banks and so on and so forth, and prisons and jails and bondsmen and so on, all actors. So now, in light of the government's Universal Commercial Code 1 lien action and all other actions that followed in accordance with the government's rulings, all enacted U.S. corporate coverings were removed from our United States Mint system, and the subjects in the Office of United States Mint were freed. Recently, we accepted a standing offering by the subjects in our office for United States Mint that is legal tender coins, and we authenticated them as legal tender in order to introduce newly minted coinage into the system during this time for change. So we are in a time for change. Change is happening, okay? Change is happening. And this is just one of the first steps in the transition, the transitory movement up. These legal tender coins that we have authenticated are composed of 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel. Legal tender gold and silver coins are already circulating among us as well. This is a systemic movement, but this is the first time in many years that the Mint has issued legal tender. And again, this is a systemic movement so that the system is ready for gold and silver coinage all day, every day. Okay. I will to thank Empress, and I won't state her appellation to honor her privacy, but I will to thank the Moors at Philadelphia's territory who brought these coinages to our attention. They didn't realize how huge this was, I don't think, but it's huge. So we have authenticated these coins, but let us show you initially Exhibit C. Here is the draft offering prior to our correcting it as it was received. This was enclosed with the coins that we received. It says Certificate of Authenticity, 2023, United States Mint, American Innovation, $1 coin proof set. It says the United States Mint certifies that these are genuine coins minted and issued in accordance with legislation passed by Congress and signed by the President on July 20, 2018 as Public Law 115-197. And this is the statement that's important. These coins were minted by the United States Mint and are legal tender of the United States. So the legal tender statement is what we've restated. And this is done by Ventress Gibson, she signed as director for the United States Mint, but of course we corrected all of that with Exhibit D. Exhibit D, Certificate for Authenticity, 2023 United States Mint, American Innovation. And then we said the United States Mint, and that these coins were minted by the United States Mint, not the Mint for United States, none of that. They are legal tender for this United States, and which is the United States. Okay, so we've corrected and again, this is the first time in many years that legal tender came from the Mint, quote unquote. Okay. They've been issuing commemorative, quote unquote, commemorative coins and commemorative things where, you know, they allude to coins from the past, but never legal tender until now. And this started actually, I believe, 2022. Which is after we liened, levied, and all of that. Okay. Notification. The United States is our system. It's not the land, it's a system. Morocco is our empire and our land. Our land has had many appellations as well. So we are not confused about where we are and about what we're doing and all of that, because we're the original states united. We always have been. Okay. Exhibit E is the coins. They are $1 coins here. This is the back. It has states on it. And if you'll notice, it doesn't say state of Mississippi and state of Ohio. It just says Mississippi and Ohio and Louisiana and Indiana and other states. There are others too. So how will this strategy assist our nation in honor of our Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey? Because that's what this is all about. He taught us what real money is. And not one of his words will fall to the ground. 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, verse 19, speaks of how the law did not let one word that the prophet spoke fail to come to pass. Not one word that our Grande Sheik Taj has spoken will fail. All of it is manifesting. Here is our strategy and plan for the healing of the nation. There are thousands upon thousands of naturopathic healers among us. I would venture to say or to state that everyone on this call brings something to the table. Everyone at this Congress brings something to the table that can assist with healing. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Before we speak on the naturopathic healers, because see, they have to be paid for their work, we will state the following. First and foremost, our ancestors gave us the ability to clean our own bodies out in 3 days minimum by doing a water-only fast. This resets our bodies back to homeostasis, meaning balance and neutrality, where chemical levels, acid levels, and alkaline levels are concerned. When done frequently, our bodies self-heal. Okay? This is why we, every month, this entire nation does a 3-day full moon fast. Now, the majority of our naturopathic healers will tell you that the more neutral and more alkaline our bodies are, the more healthy we will be. Okay? All germs, viruses, bacteria, and pathogens that are not naturally occurring in our bodies dies in an alkaline environment, such as when our bodies are more neutral to alkaline, by the means of our choosing. So we have a choice in the matter. We can choose to be more alkaline at any moment. Just put away the food for 3 days. Put away the food and drink lots and lots and lots and lots of water. Now, when there is unbalance in our bodies, we can fast and drink water and take ocean minerals to correct the unbalance. Ocean minerals, some call it sea salt. Okay. You can call it that. We were calling it that for a while, but now we know that it's that as well as ocean minerals. Salt, it tastes salty, but it's ocean minerals. This is why our entire nation does the fast every month at the full moon. We fast the day before the full moon, the day of the full moon, and the day after the full moon. Other nations earthwide do the same thing. Each sovereign chooses what she or he fasts from or to and how she or he fasts. Okay? And this is just a quick sidebar because we're talking about the healing of the nation. Not H-E-E-L, but H-E-A-L. So we are going to open the Congress. Do you know what pH stood for where alkalinity and acidity is concerned?
No, Dollarium means no Dollarium. They're not.
Does anyone know what pH stood for? Islam.
Potential hydrogen.
Yes. Potential for hydrogen. Why?
Where's your sea salt factory, Bish?
Hydrogen.
Where's your sea salt factory?
Why is hydrogen so important?
I thought you were building a sea salt factory.
pH means potential for hydrogen. So what this means is that the amount of hydrogen in our bodies will determine our level of healing or our ability to self-heal. And this is just a related notification, a highly alkaline original indigenous ancient body will move us into our supernatural powers, such as mind reading and levitating and all the other supernatural things that we are capable of. You know, those things that you see in your dreams, such as flying and all of that stuff. It will move us into that if you move into a certain level of alkalinity. So that's why we underline the word highly. A highly alkaline original indigenous ancient body will do that. So that means that the level of hydrogen in our bodies, we need to be looking at that. Healers, look at that. More scientists, look at that. So what we did was we just pulled up some sources for hydrogen that cause our potential for hydrogen levels to increase to a healthier body and even beyond. Here's what we found, Exhibit F. Sources of natural hydrogen include degassing of deep hydrogen from Earth's crust and mantle. The chances of us going to the Earth's crust right now are not very high. Another one is reaction of water with ultra basic rocks, and they call that serpentinization. That is the reaction of water when it hits ultra basic rocks. Ultra basic rocks are foundational rocks that everything is made of. In other words, they're everywhere. Another source of natural hydrogen is water in contact with reducing agents in Earth's mantle. Weathering, water in contact with freshly exposed rock surfaces. Decomposition of hydroxyl ions in the structure of minerals. So as minerals start to decompose, decomposition is an advanced form of metabolism. It's an advanced form of metabolism. Natural water radiolysis. Decomposition of organic matter and biological activity. Serpentinization is thought to produce approximately 80% of the world's hydrogen, especially as seawater interacts with iron and magnesium-rich ultramafic igneous rocks in the ocean floor. So just imagine what seawater in the proper form will do. That is why we stress and not stress, we harvest with our own hands from the sea salt, the sea minerals that produce natural hydrogen in our bodies for healing. So let's say a 3-day water-only fast, and then you take some sea salt, some sea minerals. Healing. I know that firsthand. It resets our bodies like nothing else that I've ever seen, except a longer fast. Some remedies that we bring to the table, because again, we're talking about doing commerce between us. So we bring some of these healing remedies to the table as well. Some remedies that we bring to the table for our nation. And again, this is about fungibility of Moorish sovereign dollarium and gold coins and silver coins and the coins that we just showed you. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and put the link. Take your fiat and get some coins that you can use to heal. Okay. Here is we'll put the link to this website where these coins came from in the chat. Islam nobility.
Yeah, could you explain again? Because I said a while back that in order to get the silver coins or gold coins, you would need fiat to obtain them, and you mentioned that you don't have to do that. You don't create a waiver document or something. You were saying
you can state that in many different ways. Now, what we're doing today is focusing on yet another way that we free ourselves. That's what we're doing today. We've presented more sovereign dollarium. We've presented ways to do things, merchant cards, restating bank accounts. We've presented many, many different ways where economically we can grow without the use of fiat. We've presented that. So today is another part of that. Have you tried, Justice Akil, any of those things that we stated previously?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. because I'm still trying to figure out how to get this legacy account open. My account is actually closed, but I still have access to the site because I still have the password and username. I can get on it. I can get on there. I did lien, levy, and bond them. But
so let me ask you: have you created the original record for that account in your own records?
You mean like,
and what that looks like?
Track, you mean?
That's one of the ways that has to be done. Everyone has to do that. Where bank accounts are concerned,
not even as doctors are accepting.
The mechanism by which you operate that bank account has to be restated by you because you have to set the terms. You must set the terms. So all that we do has to be restated, just like what we showed you with the authenticity certificate. Those things have to be restated and put in the proper authority. They have to say the right words. Everything must say the right words. So we put in the chat. We put in the chat the link to where you can get these coins. And yes, you can use fiat to get them, or you can demonstrate any of the other processes that we've shown you. But see, many will ask about these things, but they haven't demonstrated even what we gave them initially. Some will do that. Many are demonstrating and seeing the results and the success from that. So we would encourage you to, if you have a question about whether we can do it this way or that way, our response to that is demonstrate it because we can. We just know that there is some who are still trying to transition from the fiat piece. What we're stating is go ahead, because people have been complaining about things not being fungible at the grocery store. Well, you have ways for things to be fungible at the grocery store now. That's not fiat. It's coming straight from our mint because we're the ones who told them to do. We're the ones who told them to do this. To put something out there that the Moors can use. It's a transition. It is a transition. So we're going to go with the transition because people's minds have to be transformed. So we say do the demonstration. Demonstrate it and tell us what happens when you demonstrate using whatever method to get the coins that you can use, because they already know who we are. We see that. They're already doing as commanded. We see that too. Demonstrate it. That goes for everyone. Demonstrate. If you have a question about whether you can do something or not, the answer is demonstrate that. We do. We have to. We don't have a choice as far as we're concerned. We burnt the ships to go back to quote unquote citizenship, as it were. So what we're doing now is showing many different ways by which we can get things done. So for those that are using either fiat, bank credits, whatever you're using, or you want to use writs and affidavits to do it, do that. Get some coinage, some legal tender. Stop using those green things because that stuff has to go away. There are some trying to build whole platforms based on fiat. We don't accept it. We'll accept coins, these types of coins, but we will not accept fiat at all because we know it's not going to be here. It's not worth anything. This is actually like a 5-minute process right here. In other words, we got about 5 more minutes where you can go online and send for things using that stuff. Fiat time is up. So all we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing, transitioning over. Transitioning over. Islam, Empress.
Can you open the call, please?
Sure.
Islam.
So
Islam. Can we talk back to the PH? Can you go scroll down to that demonstration, please?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
Yeah, so right here, decomposition of organic matter. So, we had a discussion before. So, coconuts. So, what's in coconut? And is that organic matter that has decomposed to become like a pH balancing liquid? Because I call it water, though in ancient times it was called something else, but it's still now known as water. Somebody else said it was blood, for whatever reason. Because they say that fruits and vegetables have blood according to genetic whatever.
So
if Pauline's commands work, she'd have that.
So I'm not sure what words they would use, but what I do know about coconuts and about all plants is that
where's that Range Rover, bitch?
Once it ripens, it then begins the decomposition process. So it's going to be alkaline for us anyway. The answer to your question would require some research, some extra research, and I don't. That's something that can be done. But anything growing from the earth is going to be a source of natural hydrogen. Okay, so we would encourage you to do some more research with regard to your question, because I don't have that information.
Well, hydrogen would be yes, because H3O would be the hydrogen that comes from the planet, which is the alkaline water.
Or monoatomic H2O, which is hydrogen with just one. And then highly ionized water.
But water nonetheless, which I agree.
Yeah. So what we're talking about where healing of the nation is concerned, because, and this is important to us because we know that everyone can be healed from no matter what it is. Our bodies naturally exist in a state of healing. Naturally.
I want your fiat.
Okay, so, our bodies exist in a natural state of healing at all times. There's nothing that can't be reversed with if we put away the food for just a few days and just drink water. But then when you add serpentinization to it by way of sea salt or ocean minerals, which is sea salt, ocean minerals, then healing will naturally occur. Naturally occur. Someone says in the chat, H3O2 is also alkaline water that comes from the earth through our fruit. Islam, Justice Akila Singh Farid Base made that statement in the chat.
Because I was watching a video and the sister cut down a banana tree, and then she dug a hole in the middle of the stump, and then she put a banana leaf on top of it and tied it up, and she came back in like 24 to 48 hours, and it was just a rich, luscious substance of liquid water that was there. And she said the healing benefits of getting that type of liquid from that source is just astounding. And so, I mean, because when you look at all of the, like we just had zucchini, and zucchini, when you cook it, it just yields so much water.
Yeah.
And when you cook broccoli and like all these different fruits and vegetables and cauliflower and things, like it yields such succulent water that is from the earth. And, you know, it's invigorating and hydrating.
Yeah. Or you
Islam.
can just drink water.
Islam.
Yeah. Islam, Empress.
So I am listening, and when you mention, when you say decomposition, the thing that comes to mind for me is fermentation.
Yeah.
So as a thing begins to decompose, liquid is formed. You know, it actually transforms from a solid into liquid.
Yeah.
And, you know, the longer you leave it, you can strain it off. There are many medicines that are made from different fruits and leaves and different things where you actually allow them to decompose, and then after a certain number of times, many times people will, you know, they'll either boil or just sit and let them sit 7 days, 9 days. Sometimes they bury them in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's called roots. And that liquid is so potent. It's potent healing. So that's one of the things that keeps coming to mind. There's a fruit called noni, which you can take. It's a very ugly looking fruit, actually. It looks like a tumor, but it's known to cure cancers and different things. And you take that and put it I put it in glass. You can use different things. I like to use glass, and you let that break down. And then you can just literally drink teaspoons of it over time. And it is a potent healing medicine. So that's what I think of the decomposition. Empress Angel mentioned about blood. So the liquid in blood is plasma. And plasma, I looked it up quickly because it got my mind thinking. So plasma comes from, or they a more classical form of earlier plasm, Plasm, which is considered to be living matter of a cell, protoplasm. So, you know, I think that if you, going on from there, I mean, that's not answering her question necessarily, but there's certainly things to pick up on from a research perspective as to what blood, plasma, the matter within the plasma and decomposition, it's all in there.
Yeah.
And it's all healing and it's all medicine. So anyway, I yield, but I wanted to share that.
You know, thank you for that, Empress. Our cells, they heal themselves very, very easily. Very easily. When left alone.
Exactly.
When left alone and hydrated.
And hydrated. And, you know, every day, every hour, we are reproducing or recreating new cells.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons also why much of allopathic medicine is coming from the wrong paradigm, because if we were created ourselves, we're always creating ourselves to recreate, to heal, to make, which is to bring into wholeness.
Yeah.
Then there's no need to cut things off. There's no need to, you know, medicate with petroleum-based medicines. There's no need to do any of those things because, as you state, you leave things alone, balance out, remove, and return to homeostasis, equilibrium. That's really the truth of it. Everything with it, we are our own inner physicians.
Yes. Physician, heal thyself.
Thyself. And
And
that
then
is an absolute
know
fact.
thyself.
And
Yeah.
right, and you know yourself, because if you think about plants and different kinds of natural medicines, there are 300, 400, 500, many plants that will heal certain conditions or bring back into balance, because it's all about dis-ease and imbalance. But sometimes a certain plant will not work for a certain being, simply because the frequency of the being and the imbalance is not the healing frequency of that plant. But by knowing the nature of self, you will know which plant is your plant, which medicine is your medicine. But you must know from where you are coming, who you are, in order to be able to do that. It's reciprocal. We must get in touch with ourselves so that we can get back in touch with nature, because we are nature.
Yes. And there's nothing we can't heal from.
There's nothing we can't regrow.
Right. We regenerate limbs and all of that, also wounds and all of that.
All of those things.
Sarah. In the Biblios, Abraham and Sarah just had to regenerate a new womb, and it took her 25 years to do it. So she could create it.
And it was done.
Yeah.
It was done. I mean, and it really is. But Sarah knew.
Yeah.
Knew. Think about that. Knew. K-N-E-W.
Mm-hmm.
To know is to become new.
Yeah.
So that you know, I mean, the sound is the same.
Yeah, it is.
To know, we must know that ourselves in order to become new again, which I think really speaks to the whole born again, which has been misrepresented.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, it has.
I yield.
Islam. Thank you.
Islam, Empress.
Islam, Empress Nabi.
I wanted to kind of get back into the vein about what Empress Angel was talking about when she was talking about the coconut and the blood. So one of the keys that I looked up was heme, H-E-M-E, and or hemoglobin, the same thing, blood.
Or the heme of his garment. Okay.
Exactly. And you can see that plants do have heme. So that's another kind of key to that. And I think we were talking earlier about chlorophyll actually being the blood of the plant and using that, you know, to be able to heal yourself with. So that's another piece, and it does bring hydrogen to your body.
Yes.
So Islam, I yield.
Empress Nabi, that's a good connector there. That's assisting me with what Empress Angel was saying. The connection is actually the key. If a cell is quote unquote broken, as it were, or malformed, the connection can easily be restored with the new cells that come after that, because cells just duplicate. They duplicate. I think replicate is probably a good way to say that, but they duplicate. They produce after their own kind. Cells produce after their own kind.
And I would like to add to that as well. Anytime I'm dealing with what we consider a disease, I always tell individuals to go on a 3-day coconut water fast. So coconut water for 3 days to bring the body back, nothing else but coconut water. And some people actually will do cucumber because that's a good substitute, or watermelon, fresh watermelon. So for 3 days, that's the only thing that you can have.
And see, that's what I'm saying with our 3-day fast. That's the remedy right there. Every month, a 3-day fast. And I can tell you, and that's why we say a 3-day fast of any kind. If you want to do a coconut water 3-day fast, do that. If you want to do a cucumber or vegetable only fast for 3 days, before the full moon, during the full moon, the day of, and after the day after the full moon, you can't help but be reset every month. Every 30 days you're fasting. You're resetting your body. Nothing will be able to enter your body that is foreign and not and stay. And see, people don't realize that you don't even have to diet, quote unquote, when you fast 3 days a month. You can eat whatever you will to eat. And of course, we eat within reason, but you can eat whatever you will to eat.
Islam.
Just clean it. Just cleanse it. Just cleanse. Just cleanse. Islam.
Greetings, Empress.
Great rising, nobility.
Of love and respect to each and every one, all Moors.
Islam.
Yes, I would like to add in regards to the body, cleansing and medicines and all that. Yes, the greatest medicine for the body. Any illness, anything that is wrong with the body, the greatest medicine is the dirt.
Yeah.
The dirt from the earth.
Yeah.
It is the strongest thing on this planet. Everything came from the dirt. And when it perishes, it goes back to the dirt. And it's born again. There's nothing stronger than the dirt. So when you take the dirt and you parch it, and you add some spring water, and you drink it, that will clean out anything in your body and strengthen your body.
When you say parch, what do you mean?
Like if you put it in like a pan or a pot and put it on the fire, yes, the dirt, yes, and parch it. Keep turning it with a spoon and parch it, and you parch it for maybe like about 5 to 7 minutes on the heat, and then you pour some spring water, natural water on it, and let it sit, and then when it cools, and then you can drink like a wine glass, like 2 times a day. Yes, that will clean out anything in your body. Don't care what it is.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that because in the South, the women used to eat the red clay dirt when they were pregnant, specifically when they were pregnant.
Yes,
because
indeed.
the spirit, the spirit that's inside the womb, that's what it calls for. That is to show you that it is the thing.
Yeah. That was prenatal vitamins. That was prenatal vitamins for us. Was the red clay dirt?
Yes.
And
I also want to add something, Empress.
Yes.
First night I had a dream about the brethren, the Grande Sheik.
Yes.
Yes, I had a dream about him first night, and he showed me a word. But the word that he showed me was a long word with many letters, and I couldn't identify it. And he said to me that it has a lot of meanings. And I woke up from the dream early in the morning. I haven't figured out yet, but I know that the Spirit will reveal it to me sooner or later what it is or what it meant.
Yeah.
And when I rise up, I had linked Empress Angela, and I told her that I had a dream last night about the brother, about the brethren, the Grande Sheik. And now tonight, I'm witnessing the contribution to him, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know sooner or later it will reveal itself to me.
Yeah.
What the dream was all about.
Islam. Islam nobility.
I like to I like to affirm that eating the red clay, because I was born from that. My mother used to eat red clay when I was in her belly, because all of them is from the South. You all come from Mississippi River anyway, the coastline. Yeah. So we grew up eating red clay and mud pies and things like that. And to help the brother out, the prophet stated, anytime you have a dream and you want to remember, to put your head face down in the pillow. Islam.
Indeed, Islam. Thank you for that, nobility. Anyone else before because in just a moment we're going to take some time and have any who will to say a few words to our great Sheik to do so in just a moment. So
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
Or finish what you were saying, Empress.
No,
I'll finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to add in, jumping on or continuing on from what the noble and Empress before was stating. So with the chlorophyll in plants chlorophyll is to plants what melanin is to man. So there's, we are strongly connected there, but, and then also, as Noble Anthony stated about the dirt, eating it, another way of healing with the dirt is also, in some traditions, they dig a hole in the dirt and put you in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth will actually, remove toxicity and bring everything back into stasis.
They did that in the movie Black Panther. He laid under the dirt, under the sand or the dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
But that is, sometimes, they leave your head up. Sometimes you're standing vertically. Sometimes it's horizontal, depending upon what the dis-ease is.
Yeah.
The other thing, there were so many things. So coconut water, we call it jelly coconut, the ones that aren't dry here, in particular, is and has been and used in place of saline drips.
Really?
Because the electrolytes in there, that coconut is sterile. The liquid in there is sterile and can literally save lives.
That means that it's neutral in its potential for hydrogen. Neutral to alkaline, but generally it's neutral.
But that is it's a known fact. So the drinking, for 3 days and all of those things, but it's used literally. And in fact, that's far superior to what saline drips are no longer what necessarily, depending on the facility, but mostly in allopathic, is not even natural ocean mineral.
Right.
And
that's why we have to do it. We have to take care of ourselves that way.
And that's the absolute fact. We must, because we know what we need. We know what is required. And then the other thing that made me really think about the mud pies, and I don't remember if it was you or one of the noble or the empress who stated that, but growing up, one of our games was playing in the mud and making mud pies.
Yeah.
Also, recently in the last couple of years, I have seen reports now where they, in the camps, IT, I'm going to use the land name, but where the people would literally make cookies and biscuits from the dirt.
Yes, they still do that over at Northeast Africa as well. Make food from the dirt.
From the dirt, because it's full of, remember, we are the earth.
Yes.
Yes, may I comment regarding those dirt pies?
Yes.
I'm from Texas.
Absolutely.
I'm over 70 years old, but we used to play making those mud pies. And now that might have something to do with my health today. When I used to go to the doctor and they said my blood work, blah, 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 and I said, well, what does that mean? She said, well, you have the potential to live a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been many years now, but the last time that I had that type of work done, it was before I woke up even. It was like 2 years before I woke up. I had all of that work and stuff done, and something was telling me that was my last time doing that in that type of a system. And everything was perfect. The readings were perfect. Blood pressure, blood, all types, everything was perfect, right in the middle where it should be. That's how I knew that was my last time going to a doctor. So
Islam.
yeah.
May I add something in there with doctors?
Yeah.
So at one point in time, I was told I would need a new liver. And I had 15 years at most, if I was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was going to tests and all those things they have you on this schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I remember one day looking at my two sons. One was 2 and one was not even a year old, newborn. And I remember just saying, no more.
Yeah.
Not doing this. I have 2 sons to raise. I'm not going to spend the next 15 years waiting every morning. And I call it morning intentionally because I don't use that language. That is this going to be the day? And I walked away. And I have not been to a doctor. My oldest son will be 20. Wait a minute. We're 24. He'll be 29 December. And he was 2 years old.
How long ago was that they told you that?
He was 2 years old.
So 27 years ago.
27 years.
That means that their math is horrible.
Hello. You know, I went to into a doctor's office and paid fiat. One time I was taking the driver's test, that was years back, and I had to take an eye test. And that's where I could go and do that, paid for that. And then the second time I was going to Burkina Faso, and it was said that the mandate was you had to take a yellow fever vaccination. And I said, I'm not taking a vaccination, and I'm going to Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
And I called the embassy, and the woman who answered the phone said to me, well, you know, if that's the case, get a note from a doctor. And I went and I paid the 3.5 for the note. I explained my situation. Do you know, I went to Burkina Faso, came home. Up to this time, nobody has asked me whether I took a vaccination or not.
Empress, that just means that the people that's taking it don't need it.
They don't. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs it. I mean, like you've stated multiple times, and we've all corroborated, affirmed, and stated also, we heal ourselves. And in fact, when we fast and remove certain things from our bodies, we return to homeostasis.
Of course.
It's the input of things that really have no business being or make us out of balance. Those things have no business being in our bodies. That's a simple fact.
You know, Empress, this is what I'm finding out about that.
They have no place whatsoever.
Well, see, this is what I'm finding out about what goes in our bodies. Generally, it's eating too much of something and not cleaning out. And not cleaning out between that, and you eat it for years, and because people have to eat for years and years and years before they actually sickness comes. Most have to eat for years and years and years before that happens.
Because it's a business. There's not, you know, the food, what you eat, think, everything. And I was saying this to someone the other day. Everything is food. What you look at, what you smell, what you hear, what you ingest in your orifices, what you step in, it's all a type of food. And it is said, even in the Bibliotelios text, you are what you eat, or let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food.
Yes.
Anything that does not come
your medicine.
And the lack of, because really and truly, the whole idea of eating 3 meals a day, all of those things on a schedule that is a man-made, is out of divine order. Really,
well, that's actually animal husbandry.
Exactly.
Because they were trying to sell more pigs and cows and eggs and butter and bacon and bread and rice and vegetables too. They were trying to sell more of that. That's where that 3 meals a day thing came from.
And also when you stuff a thing, the thing cannot function in the way that it was naturally made to be, or a living being. When you're heavy, we all know when we've eaten too much and you feel lethargic and sluggish, all of those things. And if you think about much of what is called food today is artificial, it's man-made, it's not natural. And once upon a time also, even when we were eating more natural food, there was every season, at minimum, there was some form of washout.
So I'll say this about that, and then we'll move on, because we will to move forward in our topic, so that we can get to the good part of people appreciating and honoring.
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't matter, and I can't say it doesn't matter, because all things matter. But if we, and as we, let's say, as we continue to clean our bodies out, just like in the past, our ancestors used to take 1 teaspoon, line everybody up and give everybody 1 teaspoon of castor oil every day. The kids, they would give the children 1 teaspoon of castor oil every day, or they would make sure you had
Land Rover.
Had a bowel movement every day, or they would make sure you had, that you drank a certain amount of water every day, or things of that nature. All we have to do is get back to those basic things, and we can fully enjoy what we eat and what we do.
Your commands don't work.
What we eat, and what we do.
That's absolutely the truth. And if I may, movement. Think about that word.
Yes.
Movement.
Why do you stupid?
Movement.
Yes. Yes, movement. Because this is the word movement for the whole earth. The Moorish divine and national
movement. And that there has to be movement in all levels in order for things to continue to thrive.
Movement is a sign of life.
Grow. Yeah. It's a sign of life. If the currents do not flow, what happens?
Yeah, stagnation.
Islam. Stagnation. I yield. And Empress Light, I do believe Empress Nana would like to come in, so if you could open, please.
Islam, it's open.
Okay, thank you so much, and I yield. Islam.
Thank you all so much for that. This serpentinization that happens when we raise our hydrogen levels, that is something that all healers should look at to a degree. Of course, we stay on our own courses for healing, but that has to be, but we have to look at that so that we will know how to manipulate the levels and the acidity and the alkalinity. Okay? So with that being stated, again, where fungibility of our money is concerned, we have tools and just one moment. Okay, we have.
Where's the Range Rover, bitch?
We have fungibility for our money. Today, anyone could send me gold, silver, Moorish sovereign Dollarium, if that is what we agree on.
Them doctors ain't taking that Dollarium.
For any of the things that we do, whether it be one-on-one meetings, whether it be ocean salt, whether it be whatever, all that we bring to the table. Moorish sovereign Dollarium has been fungible for at least 4 or 5 years because we made it. Okay? We made it that. We make it what it is. It's fungible between each and every one who agrees that is fungible between them. For some people, fungibility is them agreeing to just shake hands and let their word be their bond. That's fungible. Okay, so fungibility is that's easy. That's a real easy one. That's not even difficult for us. All that we have has been fungible in terms of gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium gold instruments. Even our affidavits and writs are fungible. They're called instruments.
They're called laughable.
Some people say negotiable instruments. Some people say negotiable instruments. Some say non-negotiable instruments. Whatever, it's still fungible. It's fungible when we say it is, when we agree among each other to accept one another's whatever it is that we bring to the table. So Moorish sovereign Dollarium is highly fungible on the land, highly fungible. And that's not going to change. That's only going to increase. So now what we will to do in what we bring to the table regarding our ocean minerals is to provoke serpentinization, to provoke that. Again, the raising of hydrogen levels in the people. pH, potential for hydrogen. What we have here, again, this is the harvesting of the sea salt from the sea. This is where we go. We use our own energy to pull and to produce the sea salt. This is seaweed infused sea salt. Okay. So again, this is fungible. This is what we use, what we give to those who give us more sovereign Dollarium, for example. We send them sea salt because there's so much of it. Look how much water there is out there. So we literally have our hands right here on hundreds of trillions of dollars in sea salt. So yes, we prefer to use our energy for real money, which is Moorish sovereign Dollarium and gold and silver coin. And this way you don't need fiat. I didn't need fiat to go do this. I didn't need fiat to go do this. Fungibility is a choice. Freedom is a choice. Wealth is a choice. It's a choice. It's not something that somebody can hold from you. It's a choice.
And rejection is your destiny.
It's a choice. That's why they don't want you to hear and to know it's that simple. It's a choice. The moment we choose that fiat is not going to run our lives, then fiat is what they used to call it's done. I'm not going to use those words. It's done. If I give you sea salt and you come and do something here, help me do the yard or whatever the case may be, fungibility. And if there's any difference, just give me some Dollarium. Just give me some Dollarium, and that will make up the difference so that next time I can buy something from you or buy some services or some goods from you, and you can get some more sea salt from me that's going to raise your hydrogen level, that's going to increase your pH level, that's going to make you more alkaline, that's going to heal you. I'm just saying. Justice Willie.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings, nobility.
How are you, my dear sister?
All is well, as you can see. Islam.
Right. Just a quick question. How would you remove a lien that is placed on your property? What is the suggestion that you would move a lien?
So liens cannot be placed on sovereign property. That means that your status has to change. Because a lien is a debt, depending on how it's placed. So status, there's a status issue. That means somebody's using an all caps name. That's not been removed from the authority of a system that would say a lien is on there.
Right. You're correct.
Yeah. So it's a status issue. It's not even about money. It's about status.
But you know what I find? In their court, no matter what you say to them these days, because recently I had to sign something and I scratched it out, the all caps. And I said, I don't write my name like that. That doesn't represent me, a living man. And so when I scratched out and write how I write it, with a colon, dash, colon, I hear they say, oh, at least we get a signature. I just had to laugh. I just had to laugh. Yeah, so the all caps, I scratch it out, and they just wanted a signature. They don't care how it's written again. I reserve all
they don't care how it's written, because if you give them a signature of any kind, if you give it to them, they can use it however they want to use it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't. That's why we don't give them one. We don't care. We didn't care what they were saying. We've been in this situation where they were saying, "Give us a signature, or we're gonna do whatever," and we was like, "You won't be getting nothing from me." That was years ago.
Well, let me tell you, mine has been coming from a long way, and I really stood my ground. Yeah. And they really were trying all kind of things with a situation, probation, pay this money, guilty, get criminal record. I said, hell no. And I stood my ground, and then I just give them my little winnings, because I didn't want, it doesn't just affect me, it was affecting my family. So I said, you know what, just for a easier life on them, because I wanted to give them a test run to see, to show them what I am capable of. But as I said, because even at the 72 hours, even after you sign the signature, you can rescind it. But not wanting to complicate things, I just let it go, But yeah,
well, they hope that people will think that way, so they can get away with stuff. They hope you'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this fight, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
said they bank on that.
Yeah, but the good thing about it, at the end of the day, it was withdrawn. So
yeah,
they make their little. You know what? Sometimes I don't care to worry about. There's some money out there and some birth certificate. Let them have it if they want. If that's what satisfies them, then let them have it. Fine. It's fine with me. I've never seen it. Just like the devil and God, I've never seen God, I've never seen the devil, but I see the devil in God. I see the devil in people, and I see God in people.
Yeah.
So I've never seen this money that we are talking about on the birth certificate. Not you, but, other platforms. But, yeah, we sometimes just we don't have to, there's a little saying, you don't have to ever fly that come in front of your face. You don't always have to box after them. They'll go by themselves, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I yield on that note.
Islam. We won't allow belligerent. We don't allow it. We just don't. We just don't. But see, we don't have to worry about it when because at our jurisdiction that we are, because we are the jurisdiction. Wherever we go, if we're there, the jurisdiction is us. So we just know that and keep that in mind. There's no such thing as a court if it's not our court. So we don't. We just. If we were to show up anywhere, that would become our court because we're there. So nobody can tell us in our court, you better sign this and you better sign that, and we actually have to do it. That does not exist. Does not exist. So just keep demonstrating who you are, nobility. Just keep going, because it will become even clearer and clearer and clearer that you don't have to let them get away with stuff, because you're not even in. It's like a different chessboard. They're over here on this chessboard scrapping and fighting and not even playing chess, and you're over here on your square. Yeah. Just keep standing. Keep standing.
Yeah, but I'm doing that, and it is working out. You know, it is working out, and it's becoming clearer and clearer to people every day what's going on. I think the gig is up. They know it bloody well. There's so many people who have waken up to the fraud that we've been under how many years now. You know, and it is crumbling, and the Bible cannot be wrong. It says Babylon is falling, You know, Revelation 14, it is falling, and that's all. It can only get from here. It can only get worse, never better.
Wow. Justice Willie, you're going to have some serious deprogramming.
Huh?
You're going to have to deprogram yourself.
What part of what I said I need to deprogram now?
Well, you know, I'm just saying Babylon is not even a thing. It's not even a thing when you know where you are. When you know where you are, your locus has to be. You have to know where you are, and it'll come. Don't worry about it. It'll come. It'll come.
All right. So hear me now. Let me rebut that.
Yes.
We sometimes, honestly speaking, we treat the Bible like when we go to a buffet and we choose, you know, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. For me, all scripture is given by inspiration and is profitable for doctrine, for teaching, for instruction in righteousness. And the same way we take parts of it and we use it, and then we throw away the parts that we don't like. For me, I accept all of it to an extent. Yes, I know there are errors and stuff, but the overall thing is that the system that we are here talking about from Sunday after Sunday, it is called by the Bible Babylon, which is confusion, which is fraud, which is a system of enslavement. The entire system that has been created, starting at the Catholic Church, come right down through the centuries that we've been living under. You may call it one thing, fraud. The Bible calls it Babylon because it's really confusion. And when you think about it, that's exactly what it is. It's confusion.
No. Well, you're confused about the system because, and let me just say this, and that's not a personal attack, Justice Willie.
It's okay, go ahead.
It's a matter of what's coming out of your mouth. You think that that's a system. We're saying it's not a system, that we've created our own. That's the system we talk about every Sunday. Let me show you an example of that. Let me give you, because what we talk about here in just a moment as we move through these topics, I'm going to show you our system, and we understand why confusion comes because they look so similar, but that thing is not a system. Let me just show you, because people talk about this a lot. Okay. Now, listen. So we talked about fungibility, our money is fungible with us, with everybody, all the real living people. It's fungible with the real living people. If you're still enacting being dead, then you're probably not seeing that Moorish sovereign dollarium, gold and silver, is fungible. So now, and that's just a general statement out there. So now let me give you an example. Let me put this link in the chat so we can put a cap on this topic of the salt. There's a book called The Salts of Salvation. Let's put that in the chat so you can get that book. Because like Empress Shasha was saying earlier, different things for different beings, different salts and different measurements for different Moors. We also offer remedy where proper identification for our Grand Sheik, our providers, and our merchants and our nation are concerned. Again, this is for everyone. This is not just for Grand Sheik. This is for everybody.
All right. So now, again, can I just say something quickly?
Yes, nobility.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but okay. I hear you, but I am not talking about the system that you're talking about. What I am simply pointing to, I just asked you about a lien, how you remove a lien, and say you said change your status, and that's correct. But and so what I'm saying is, we before the awakening that is going on now, we're just gliding along. We didn't know it's COVID. Since COVID, for the most part, I know some people have been doing this thing for a while, but since COVID, there's been a rude reawakening of the consciousness of man, and the internet is helping to spread a message of what we have been living in and under. And it's a fraudulent system where, like, for instance, you have the United States of America, you have the United States District of Columbia, you have the all caps name versus the living man name, blah, blah, blah. You know, the birth certificate or the birth paper, everything has been counterfeited and duplicated. So what I'm saying is, we, before this consciousness, have been gliding along with it, didn't think anything of it, didn't care about changing status, thought it was the norm, and we've been going along. But now the consciousness has come, the system has been set to crumble, and all I'm saying is the Bible predicted it, and we're seeing it happen. I don't think anything is wrong with what I'm saying.
What you're saying, there's nothing wrong with it.
Islam, Empress Light, could you please unlock so I have to come out and come back in, please? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Justice Willie, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what you said just now. What I am saying, though, is that you go to their fake courts. You're going to a place, you're going into Babylon thinking it's court. You're going into Babylon thinking that you owe something and that they have the authority to lien. That's Babylonian lien. That's why I say what I said. You got to come out of Babylon. You've got to come out of Babylon. We have created the earth and the system that is not Babylon. Why? Because it's created by the living people. Uncompromisingly. Uncompromisingly.
Which is a confirmation of what I'm saying, that if there was no Babylon and falsehood, there would be no need for us to be even going through 40 documents to declare status and to do this and do that. It would be the norm, right? Yes. But we're not living under norm. We're living under fraud, so we have to do some paperwork. That's why we have so much paperwork to do.
Yes.
To get out of Babylon.
But you gotta stop doing that. You admit those are your words, not mine. You must come out of her.
Of course, that's what the Bible says too. Revelation 18:4. I know my Bible. It says, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her plagues, that you receive not of her or whatever." You know, yeah.
A lien is a plague. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a plague.
Yeah.
It creates debt slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being stated, We also offer remedy, and again, we've created our own system. Our system is being honored all earthwide. We offer remedy with proper identification. We offer remedy where proper identification for our Grande Sheik Taj, for our providers, those healers,
Taj wants fiat, you dumb.
And for all people. We offer that, and listen, this is so that you may use your own system and remain living and sovereign. Because see, people in a recent publication that I witnessed, there were people talking about sovereigns going into a dead system and about them not having identifications and things, but them needing some assistance.
Like Aisha needing a house, you dumb bitch.
Carefully. We provide driver license for our providers.
Aisha ain't never getting her.
We provide that. It comes from the travel ministry because we have the right to travel. So we have the right to travel. So the United States Travel Ministry offers proper driver's license so that our Grande Sheik and all Moorish merchants and all Moors, period, can move about freely commercially. See, how you identify will determine which system you go to. It's going to look the same. The building is going to look the same. But your ID is going to decide whether you go to a dead system or the living system. The ID is the port or the portal that you go through, that the services go through. Let me put it that way. We have demonstrated this repeatedly at aeronautical ports, which is airports, and common access bases previously doing business as military bases.
Liar, liar, liar.
We did it. We have used our driver license that we created to travel from Seattle, Washington, the land, to Atlanta, Georgia, the land, and back. Safely, unencumbered, as we should.
And you paid fiat.
All systems are accessible with our federal driver licenses. All systems. Because we're the state. There's no state besides the living. So this is special notification to the Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey. We will provide you with a federal driver's license created confidentially by us here at Washington in gratitude for all that you have done for us. We will do so at your will and at no allodial cost to you. You taught us that everything that we use to access our systems, our estate, must come from us, including the money. So we went about creating our instruments, doing the study, demonstrating them and testing them again and again to perfection. Our driver's license is good at all states. Our state security number process is good for all systems. Our nationality identification card is good universally. This is lawful and legal self-government. The two go together as they are matrimonied as one. So the lawful and the legal have to go together. People will show, and this was where our movement was kind of stuck for a while, where people would show a nationality ID card but not have a driver's license. Or they would show a nationality ID card and try and enforce that you don't need a social security. You don't need one, but you still must match. If you have a living lawful instrument, which is nationality cards, you must have a living legal instrument to access the legal system. They are one. They don't come separately for everyone. And this is I'm speaking to everyone at this point.
And your Dollarium is still always
everyone. To everyone, these uncorrupted processes are part and parcel of what lawfully legal donations to our general fund are for. Now, this is not a donation pool because we have enough gold and silver and more sovereign dollarium already to do what we need to do. However, to get proper identification to the large clans and to those who have many heirs, they need help. They need assistance with getting these things done. So we don't accept fiat, so nobody has to worry about debt with what we're doing. We will to assist everyone. We will to give it away for free, but that's not how this works. That's not accountability. Please note that donations to the Treasury of legal tender, like what we showed you, gold and silver coinage, is so that we can give back to our Grand Sheik and to others. This, what we're doing is what he said we should be doing. The Treasury General Fund is open for donations of coinage from all people so that we can assist those in need and give back to those who sacrificed so much for us. This is in direct alignment with what the Prophet Noble Jew Ali spoke about for government. General funds, all governments have a general fund, they have an emergency fund, and they have other economic mechanisms so that we can continue to be a wealthy nation and not a beggar nation using foreign dead notes not created by our own hand nor under our sovereign authority. We're not going to do that fiat thing for another 100 years. We're not doing it. No, we do not have to use bottomry instruments to get assistance. A bottomry instrument is anything created by the dead. Our Grand Sheik spoke against bottomry instruments, and we will not use them. All things created by foreign aliens are dead bottomry instruments. All things created by us, the living, are living top tier 1 high value commodities instruments for high value people that allow access to all systems without debt attachment. Our Grand Sheik taught us to rebut the fraud, and we will do so. We will continue to stand. Now, our own top tier 1 high value commodities instruments for the wealthy nobility are proper rebuttal to fraudulent debt, licenses, certificates, etc., as the system recognizes our presentments. But foreigners do not have the authority over us nor our instruments, since foreigners are not the authors of our top tier 1 high value commodities instruments. That includes Dollarium. Now, hear me out when I say this, Morris. You can create these instruments yourself. Just know that. And we're going to show you. We're going to show you what that looks like. Islam, Empress.
Will would like to get back in.
Islam. Nationality is a lawful document. The 8.5 by 14 birth affidavit is a lawful document. A federal driver license is a legal document. A state security number is a legal document. A birth certificate and birth certificate bond is a legal document. We create them all. All of us can do this. So all of the things that our Grand Sheik needs, all of the things that he wills to have, all the things that he wills to have to do system things like seeing providers and things of that nature, we have the ability to create what is necessary for that to happen without compromise. We don't need fiat. We don't need, and you can pay for it with the coinage. The coinage says legal tender, okay? So we don't have to build up a fiat fund. We don't have to do that. No one has to do that. Exhibit H, Justice Willie, this is our system. We do our system. These are the things we use. This is lawful and legal together. A nationality ID card, a state security number, which some used to call it a social security number, but we leaned that thing and did court actions and dismantled that. We dismantled all the bonds that would come with these things if it were in a dead state. We've dismantled, like our Grande Sheik said, everyone is watching the dismantling of the debt system because we keep creating creditor instruments. That's a driver license, a state security card, and a nationality ID, identification card. So all Moors have the authority to create these. All Moors have the authority to create these. And we don't charge fiat to create them. Not at all. We don't accept fiat. Because our Grande Sheik said no. No fiat. He said that. We believe him. And we're honoring him with these actions. That's how we honor him. It's to prove him right, actually. For ourselves. For ourselves. Islam. This is the living system by which all things are accessed. Islam nobility.
The driving license and the state security, what card do we print that on?
What does your spirit say?
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay. When we follow the spirit that's leading us from within, we'll do it. It'll be right. And listen, our documents, you can see our driver license and our state security card for the legal system because we're the legal courts too. So any issues have to come through our court. And in reality, all issues are already legislated by us. So we put the law on the public record, and now all Moors have to do is create. But we did the research. We did more than just create it haphazardly. We didn't just look at it and just go, oh, we need a driver's license here. Here's one. We looked and did the research. So with regard to the thousands of naturopathic healers, you're going to need these. It's going to be necessary, let me put it that way, for you to have the proper documentation too. We, the United States Treasury, that's all of us, have established a general fund, and now we can begin paying in coinage that you can use at your territories. We can begin paying in coinage that you can use at your territories. We are now publishing that we've established a general fund in accordance with the General Welfare Clause in the Constitution for the United States to assist all those in need and to give back to our nation. There are some who don't know as much as we know. They will need assistance. We are to help the others who need that assistance. And look, it's even our great sheik. It is necessary for us to assist in whatever ways that he wills that we assist. We just looked on the record and saw what he said about how to help one another. That's what this is all about. The general fund, we give to the entire nation because our Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey wills that the whole nation be uplifted. If we love him, and we do, we will actively do as he has taught us while sacrificing his own comfort for us, because he went 40 years without those documents, you all. 40 years without those documents. We are ready for our own nation. We are the remedy for our own nation. The people of our nation commanded money, and now we've manifested money. There is no other money available since we do not accept fiat debt notes. Our Grand Sheik sacrificed so that we would not live another 100 years in slavery and poverty and be looking at someone else's quote-unquote treasury to dole out something and give us something. This is the way out. This is the way out. So, as we've always stated, don't give to a general fund when you haven't saved yourself. Save yourself first. Then donate to a general fund, or do it while saving yourself. We did it. We had to do it. We didn't have a choice. We weren't taking fiat. So, Exhibit I, to sum up the strategy, give the subjects in the office of United States Mint the fiat debt notes and accept your own gold and silver coins and proper legal coins. Be sure to authenticate the coins that you accept in writing with your autograph prior to sending them out. Let me just show you what authentication looked like for us, because again, we restated the authentication that was included in those coins.
You've been writing hot checks.
This is what it looks like. This is what it looked like. Let me turn it back on this side. So it was folded over, and we restated what was there, because we can do whatever we will with our information. What we did was turn it over on the right side and authenticate it. This is what the authentication says. It says, all rise and stand. This is a universal original. Article 3, United States Court Action Authentication for this matter for the record. This action is recorded with notification to the United States Treasury System, because we're the treasurers. All of us are the treasurers. Okay? So we just, whenever we sent out one of the coins, we just authenticated it in this manner and sent this and our fiduciary affidavit on Moorish government letterhead and any other documents that we felt necessary. We were led by our spirit to send. Okay. So we do.
Can you show both again really quickly?
Yes. So this is this is all on one page. This is the authentication that was enacted by Ventures Gibson. It was a card that was folded over. That's why part of it is upside down and the other part is right side up. And so we just did the right side up thing and authenticated it and put all rights perfected. And I know that doesn't look like all rights perfected, but it is. That's what it says with our signature. And then we sent the coins out. We sent one out for one thing, because again, it's legal tender. Okay. We sent it out for some things. We sent a couple of them out. After authenticating them. But see, we don't look to anyone to authenticate our stuff. We authenticate everything. Nothing is authentic unless we say it is. But we had to correct a few things first. In other words, Ventures Gibson is in the office of a subject. All offices are subject to the Moors. All offices. We don't care what the office is. We created it. It is what it is. It's the truth anyhow. So As you are saving yourself, you can assist our entire nation. And this is also something, this program or this process of donating to the general fund is just something to unite us even more. We're already stating and doing all the right things. As you are saving yourself, you can assist our entire nation by donating legal tender authenticated by you. You must authenticate it, or else we'll have to do it in a moment. So if you authenticate, if we receive it and it's not properly authenticated, we will do that here. We'll authenticate it. So most of you already know that our Treasury has never once accepted U.S. fiat debt notes. We've never corrupted our Treasury with that. As you begin receiving and using your coinage at your territories, feel free to assist others by sharing coins for the general fund at, and this is the general fund information, United States Treasury General Fund, Pauline Ritchie Treasurer, and again, we're all that. Those who've done the 40-something documents, you already know. 911 Southwest 314th Place, Federal Way, Washington. The phone number is 1-253-569-7025. The strategy principle, use the coin to acquire what you will while stating your creditor status, and please do not send any U.S. Federal Reserve debt notes to anyone. Don't keep circulating that stuff. Don't do it. That is our suggestion. We can't tell sovereigns what to do. We just know what our Grand Sheik stated. Do not patronize, use, nor do exchanges with anyone who does not accept your money.
His doctors, for one, that's for sure.
That's a huge one. That's huge. Do not patronize, use, nor do exchanges with anyone who does not accept your money. If they don't accept your money, your nationality, or any of that, don't do business with them. Do not do exchanges with them. Those who do not accept real money have made the choice to stay in bondage, slavery, and begging. They will to be beggars. Customs and usage for our land has been established since time immemorial. This does not include U.S. Federal Reserve fiat debt notes. We can get things from the Mint, we can get things from the Treasury, Federal Reserve debt notes. No. No. So, strategy principle number 4. Create your own instruments, both lawful and legal. Do so in universal formation with us. Create your instruments to look like ours so that we speak with one voice unified. Okay. Thank you for your energy and for hearing this presentment in honor for our Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey and for the nations. Anyone who has a brief dedication of words of honor for our Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, please feel free to speak them now as we adjourn until next Sunday at this same time. So you can star 6 to make any dedications or to wish the Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey well. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Justice Akil Asim Fareed Bey first.
Hey, thank you, Empress. I just wanted to state that
he will rot in hell. Rot in hell.
Just a moment. Let me get rid of the haters who love us so much. Islam, go ahead, Nobility.
So my family, we love Taj Tarik Bey. I mean, the Grand Sheik means everything to us. So I just wanted to share with you guys a thing that my dad always talk about with truth seekers, and he say true trust. And true trust is a concept to where if you can leave your phone out in front of anybody that you trust, or you don't have to have cameras around the house. You can just roam freely. You can leave your money out. You can do anything. That's what we call true trust. And that's the way that we feel about the Grand Sheik. We trust this man. We haven't even met him. We love him. We know he's not lying to us. We feel it in our soul and in our spirit. So the reason why I feel like he means so much to us, because everything that he said has always came true, and everything he's been saying is still fulfilling my spirit. So as we always say, if it ain't with Taj, I ain't with it. Islam. I yield the floor.
Indeed. Thank you, nobility. Justice, there was a few other justices who spoke. Justice Dumois, go ahead, nobility.
Yes. To Brother Grand Sheik.
Yeah, I mean, get his dick out your mouth, and Pauline's too.
Go ahead, nobility.
I would just like to say thank you for assisting me in claiming my nationality, and everything that you told me was true. Islam. And thank you, Grand Sheik.
Islam, indeed. Islam nobility.
How you doing, Empress Light?
Great rising, Justice Nathan. How are you?
I'm good.
All is well.
I want to say to Taj Tarik Bey that he is a movie star, a great teacher, a motivator, and the man to go to, because he's nothing but the truth. He spits it live, and what he spits, he usually sticks as a spell, and that spell leads you in the right direction. So I just want to say he's one of the best men out here, one of the greatest minds. As a matter of fact, he's close to Noble Jew Ali that I can possibly believe or be even endowed to follow. This man is, because I read Noble in the joint, and he taught me a lot through his readings. And before I went in, he was the first one that I really liked when he was in New York doing his thing in some type of building. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for everything, Taj Tarik Bey. Peace and love. As well as you, Empress Light, you have opened up my eyes. You have no idea. When you said,
thank you, nobility.
What you said, I went through some of my affidavits. You were 100% right. 100% right. So with that, I yield. Peace and love
Islam.
to both of you.
Islam. Thank you, nobility. Justice 7 Solution L.
Islam, Empress, how you doing?
All is well, nobility. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'd just like to express gratitude to Brother Taj Tarik Bey for how he has impacted my life with his profound truths that reflect in his Moorish material. Because when I first read that brother's material, I'm talking about, it blew my mind. And it put me on this path that I'm on today, in unison and joining in Congress with you all. With that, I yield.
Islam, thank you, nobility. Justice, there was another justice who said something at the time too. But anyone, Islam. Islam nobility.
Yes, Pharaohs like you. I would just like to say that the Sheik has really made me more aggressive, more fact-finding, and feeling strongly about demonstrating. And sometimes the ancestors, I might hear something that he say, and then the ancestors might send me off on a whole different demonstration that I wasn't thinking about before I heard his speaking, and then I just go and do what I do, and it turns out fine. It gets me closer to where I'm trying to go, and I just appreciate the man being so aggressive. I yield.
Indeed. Islam. Anyone else?
Islam.
Justice Kansu. Islam.
Yeah. Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey reckon says, thank you, but thank you for what? For everything that he's taught me and what I'm teaching to my smaller ones. And since I've been listening to us for about 4 years now, it's really helped me to understand words that I didn't even think about before. But now we know the difference. I thank Taj Tarik Bey for all he's done for me and the family. Islam.
Islam. Indeed, nobility. We affirm. Justice Akil. Anyone else? Islam. Islam, Empress.
I want to say gratitude to Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey for being holy breath and being himself, and missing that plane long ago when he decided to take this walk and be himself. I want to say gratitude for not being a block of wood and just pointing the way. I want to say gratitude for him going the way and once again being himself. It was really impactful for me to meet him and travel to him and be imparted into when he gave holy breath at one of the demonstrations at the conference, when he said all that are here are supposed to be here, and the moving pieces that would happen and transpire have all happened. And I'm just saying I'm grateful, and things are still unfolding. So I am truly grateful, and it was indeed an honor.
Yes, indeed. We affirm, Empress.
Islam.
Justice Earl, and then Justice Anthony. Justice Earl.
It is my greatest gratitude toward my brother Taj, who has contributed toward among the greatest source of foundation in this journey as a Moor, and is one who is taught the very basic and very simple concepts that is so easy to follow. It is my wish that you would restore your health in totality and be right back on your feet very soon. My honors to you. Peace.
Islam. We affirm, Justice Earl. Justice Anthony.
Yes, Islam. I just want to say gratitude, enough love and respect to the Sheik, and I also say all praises due to Allah for sending that man to help free us. I pray that Allah will give that man long life, longevity. He could continue to be among us. We do love him and appreciate him. Also, I'll just ask a question of how could I get a copy of the state security card? Could I be provided with a template or anything of that nature?
Sure. So at the next Congress this coming Sunday, we'll just put it on the agenda to show the process and the presentment for all the IDs that you've seen, the nationality, the driver's license, particularly the driver's license issued by the United States Travel Ministry, which is all of us, and the state security card. We'll show you next Sunday.
Gratitude, Empress. No love and respect.
Islam.
Islam.
The Justice, and then Empress, Justice Harold, and then Empress Shasha.
Islam, Empress.
Islam.
Grateful to you, Empress, for listening to Grande Sheik's messages and getting us to this point.
Yes.
High honors and appreciation for assisting by Mahdi spirit, to end of one, rise of the all. Like the honor given to Tom Lee here, who saved many from the Mississippi River, you, like that oak tree, steadfast, never moved, off truth and principles. Thank you and much gratitude, Grand Sheik. Get well at your earliest. Islam, a year.
Islam, we affirm nobility. Empress Shasha. Islam.
So I want to say and give honors and grand gratitude to Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, whom is the truth, walks the truth, speaks the truth, a truth that resonated and resonates with me on such a powerful level. Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, when I discovered his presentments and lectures and teachings, it was a very, very dark time for me. And his word, his words, his presence was the light, the beaming, shining light that kept me going, that provided me the space and time and place and presence of mind to keep my hands on my wheel, my will and my mind, so that I could come through the other side. The light and light my own way in my journey, my hero's journey. I absolutely honor his being and his word and his teachings, and the fact that he has stood for so long without wobble.
Yes.
Radical, deep-rooted. That's what radical means.
Yeah.
As a tree, going nowhere but the truth, speaking nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
And I give thanks, and I know he is already healed, because that man walks in wholeness.
Yeah.
And I send and share all powerful healing, love, and every high vibrational resonance and frequency. And may it wash over him forever.
Yes.
And I give thanks. I give thanks. Malemba Yezola, peace and love.
Matando Maminge. Indeed. We affirm, Empress.
Islam.
Islam.
Empress, could you open the meeting, please?
Sure. Justice Nate. Go ahead.
Islam. I would like to affirm what the Empress just stated, and I would like to say to the Grand Sheik, thank you. And my tongue, Shukran Jazakallahu Khairan, meaning thank you, and may Allah, all of nature, assist you and help you and straighten out all of your affairs. May the breath, the ruh, heal you with every word that we state here today. And we send the highest of all honors to our Grand Sheik. I, Rashid Assadullah Bey, Nathan Al, send my ancestors through you to heal you, your mind, your body, and your breath. Islam.
Islam. Thank you. We affirm nobility. Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
The big baby sometimes.
Empress Imani.
I'm such a big baby.
That makes two. Well, I can't say that. Not babies, but we cry sometimes.
You is like the smallest things that
Oh, boo fucking who, you dumb bitch. Boo fucking who, boo, boo.
Anyway.
Go ahead, Empress.
I like to speak in honor of Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey and to give much gratitude. I found him during the crown virus, and when I first came upon him, and I was listening to a lot of...
you sound so fucking stupid.
So I was listening to a lot of his videos where I was attending the live, and much of his lives, and so as he was speaking, I would get so confused, and I got frustrated, and I said, what is he saying? And I would keep listening, right? And so as time went on, the more I was in his presence and listening, then clarity came. And I'm like, okay, he's saying something. Write that down. So I'm writing these things down, and I'm looking them up, and I'm like, oh, snap. This man, oh, he's on it. He's got all of this knowledge. Yeah. And so I just continued from that and just followed him and, just reaching for more and more and more truth. And so from being in his presence, it led me here. Mm-hmm. So I am much grateful to the work that, even though it wasn't very long for me to be in his presence, but I saw what he was doing, and I was just so impressed with the knowledge that, he has. And he was just so freely to give it away, to give it to us. And then I can't remember what was stated as how long he's been, with this and giving and imparting the truth to us. And we're just as asleep as we could be, but he stayed in there. Yeah. He stayed, and it didn't matter. He was like, I'm going to reach these people no matter what. I'm going to reach them. I'm going to do what I got to do. So it doesn't matter, even though sometimes he was fussing, but he was like, I'm still going to wake you up. Yeah. Because you need to be awakened. And so that's just what he did. Yeah. So I just wanted to, at least say something of gratitude because, like I said, even though I only knew him for a short time, he made such a huge impact in my life for that short time. So much gratitude, and I yield.
Islam, and you still know him. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's still here.
Oh, well, then let me clarify. I don't know what I said, but to imply that, but I didn't mean to imply that, he's not here. But, okay. Well, then let me, for the record, it's not to say that he's gone, he's going to go, none of that. It's just I'm expressing just how much he was just pouring into us and just giving. Yeah. And just on a constant, and I would find myself racing. Oh, is he on tonight?
You too?
Right, and I, like I said, I would often take all these notes, even though I didn't know what he was saying. I'm like, I'm gonna write it down anyway. down.
Yeah.
So that's me talking to myself, just write it down. But anyway, so much gratitude, and I just love the work that he has done and that he is doing. He's just constantly doing it, and I just appreciate it. And I yield.
Islam. Empress, when you talked about when he's coming on and being situated. Whenever he's coming on a Friday, I get into my PJs, I get some popcorn or something, and I'm sitting down going, okay, y'all don't say nothing to me because I'm at erudition school, erudition right now. This is my learning time and my listening time, So I look forward to that always. Yeah.
Islam. I'm working for Taj. I'm teaching.
Say who you are.
Me more.
Say, talk into the microphone.
Interject me more. I'm grateful for Taj and him helping our kin.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to hear our future speaking.
Yes.
Indeed.
This is Empress Sia Marie Rael Abdullah Bey, and I am so grateful for Taj and what he has done for our kin. And there are times in which I sit with the children and we listen to his lectures over and over. And he's been a part of our homeschool learning environment with the Circle 7 Quran that he's, put out, and just helping us understand so many concepts. And so we are so grateful for the many hats that he wears. Yeah. And I'm grateful for my consort being able to sit at his feet and being able to hug him on those particular weeks in which he's gone to House of Reawakening Minds. And I'm so grateful that no matter what level you are on, he never wants to give up on you. He may say, I've been doing this for however long, and whenever you tune in, sometimes you could say, oh, this again, but there's nothing more important than nationality, and there's always somebody who needs it at the level in which he brings it. And I'm so grateful that he doesn't get exacerbated with us. He has all the patience that we seem not to be able to have for each other. And it is so beautiful the way he delivers messages again, and how he's gotten so many people through so many times that, could be tumultuous in their lives. And there, when I think of that line that comes on for the time joining Moorish show, and he says, the hardest working in whatever, and I just say, the hardest working brother on what really matters that I've ever encountered, ever. Yeah. So I'm so grateful. With that, I am complete.
Thank you so much, Empress, and thank you for the heirs speaking, because that's encouraging for us too. To know that the heirs are getting this also. Islam, we affirm your words, Empress.
Islam, if I may, yes. That was I affirm Empress Rod, her Empress I was going to speak about the heirs as well, because I never forget, it was his solar return like 2 years ago, and everybody was, affirming him and giving gratitude, and he said, thank y'all for everything that you're saying, your kind words, but he's like, I do it for the heirs, the children. And that, when we think about that and really ponder that, for his inspiration and his, his purpose at this planet here, Gaia, it's for the heirs, because he knows that those are the souls that are coming back. And he knows that those are the ones who have the will and the desire to, and the closest remembrance from, the soul plane from where they came from. So from all of those things and thoughts and knowledge and wisdom that he chooses every day to protect with his works. Yeah. And so with that, that is what drives him and motivates him is to protect those souls. So with that, we give gratitude, we give honors, and we know that he will be with us for forever in Ashe. Here or hereafter, because of all the work he's done and continues to do for the heirs. And we give high honors, and we know that he's going to be blessed and blessed by our words, and healing is on in his wings, which is his breath. Because when you know what the wings are, those are the lungs. So Islam is there.
Islam, we affirm your words, Empress. Indeed.
Islam.
Just one moment. Justice Akil first, then Empress Aisha, and then Empress Karima.
Islam.
Akil.
I just like to say, Grande Sheik, I thank him just for being a cornerstone, the Christ of today, the words, the wisdom, the knowledge, the long-suffering, everything that he has been an example to me on what it is to claim and proclaim a nationality. And I mean, there's so much I could say, but I just want to thank him for a speedy I just want to make sure he has a speedy recovery, and just get back to doing what he loves, serving and helping the people. Because of his teachings is what gave me life, and it's like gave me fire within my stomach to hear him speak those words of life, as he just gives us such great dedication, all these years of inspiration, just teaching us the words of the Prophet Noble Ali. So I just want to say gratitude, and I'm thankful for people like him, and a lot, and all the people that's on this call.
Yes.
I learned from everyone that's on this call and some that's not on this call. And I just appreciate the teachings of Taj Tarik Bey. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you for all that you have done. Peace and love.
Islam, I'm grateful that he will be able to hear this. I'm grateful that he hasn't transcended or anything like that, so he can hear this. Islam. Islam. There was Empress Aisha, and then Empress Karima, and then Empress Cynthia. Islam. Empress Aisha.
I just want to say a few words in honor of Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey. I met him, I think, about 15 years ago in Detroit. He was there teaching about nationality, and he was saying some things that my mind wasn't even open to. But after doing the research on it, I knew that it was good. And I think it was because of those meetings that I followed through on claiming my nationality. I want to leave the word omnific with him.
Yes.
Because that word brings together your future and your past. And I have really learned a lot by following him. I worked in the school system, but a lot of things Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey taught wasn't even open to me at that time, because we go to these public schools, but sometimes we don't realize that they are not teaching us everything we should be getting. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. I will be ordering his USB that I know he has a lot of good information on. And I listen to him whenever I have the opportunity to, because he teaches so well. I'm going to end it right there. But omnipotent, and may you continue to have a great future, Grande Sheik. I love you. Peace.
Peace. Islam, Empress, we affirm your word. Indeed.
Thank you.
Empress Karima.
Islam. This is Empress Kenesha Lamb, Karima Bay at Virginia. I'd like to give honors to all the Moors doing this national divine work. Give supreme high honors for Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey. I remember in 2017 uncovering his lectures on YouTube, and I remember him stating, don't believe anything we say, prove us wrong. And I went on a quest to do just that, prove him wrong. And I could never do it to this day. And I still watch his videos multiple times a day, multiple times a week. And I do my own research and do the digging, and still cannot find where he stated anything out of order. So we're just so thankful for his teachings. Because of his teachings, and after we went about proving him wrong and could not do that, we went about declaring our nationality, getting nationality cards for ourselves and the heirs. My consort and I, removed the heirs from the public food system and looked at the writs and affidavits our Grande Sheik had on RV Bay publications, and began handling some matters that were presented to us by the fraudulent courts, and cases were getting dismissed. And that's when we knew that what we were being presented with was truth, A1 truth at that. Mm-hmm. So Grande Sheik, my clan and I, the whole nation, just want to give you supreme high honors and gratitude for all that you've done, and for standing firm on your square for 40 plus years. Islam.
Islam, we affirm your words, Empress. Thank you. Empress Cynthia.
Islam.
Islam.
I don't know. Sometimes when I think of Grande Sheik, it's I'm not sure what to say to him. But when I heard that he was ill, this is Justice Cynthia Ann Bay, Califia Territory, I felt that this was a test for me. I really wanted to contribute, but I knew that I had made an allegiance with my nation, and I would only use, the instruments that we have deemed lawful and legal, but I wasn't sure how to do that. And So tonight I'm grateful for this call and this direction and how to contribute. But I feel like my best contribution to Grande Sheik is to tell everybody I know about what has happened to us Moors and how we have remedy now, and to lead them to that, and to spread this so that even if we have to leave here, we won't come back to this again. I feel that's the best gift I could give him, is to help others and lead them back to their own self and their estate, and then I think once we do that, everything will heal naturally.
Yes.
That's my contribution to you, Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, to do this work. And I do. I tell everyone. My brother and his wife have just declared their nationality, and now they're trying to do the first 6 documents. And I'm so grateful for. I call this the yellow brick road, which are the 40 documents. We have a path. It's all there for us, and I aspired to be to his level of integrity.
Yes.
Thank you. I work for you, and I work for our people, and nobody else. I only use what our nation has deemed as lawful and legal money. I love you all.
We love you too, Empress. Thank you so much. We affirm your words, your holy words. We affirm them. Islam. Islam, nobility.
I'm thankful for the things that we were able to learn from him and that our mother taught us while we were being homeschooled. And I'm so thankful for being able to read from like the Zodiac Constitution and the Clock of Destiny 1 and 2. So I'm thankful for him.
Thank you so much, nobility. You're very well spoken. You've learned well. Thank you. We're very proud of you. Islam. Homeschooling is doing what it should do. Islam.
Thank you. Islam.
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 Islam, Empress Amora.
Greetings to everyone. I'm just going to say that my awakening began, it was between 2017 or 2018.
Say your affiliation as well, Empress.
Oh, apologies. This is Amora calling from, or speaking from the land of flowers.
Islam.
And yes, and so I was just going back in memory, and my first encounter with Grande Sheik was between the year of 2017 or 2018. It was on YouTube, and he was talking about the driver's license. And the information just captured, because I'd never heard anything spoken like that before. And initially I listened, and then I had to re-listen to kind of grasp what was being said, but the information captured my attention. And I held on to that information. I took notes. I got my notebook out and I took notes. And so then my void was to try to locate a family or a consulate, as to connect, to learn more, so that was my challenge. But the universe brought that information to me without even really me actually doing any great deal of work seeking it out. It just came to me in some sense. And so I treasure that encounter. Grande Sheik opened my eyes, and that's what brought me here to this General Assembly and a Congressional Assembly. And I want to thank him. I want to thank him deeply, and let him know that I'm grateful for the knowledge. I'm grateful for the time, the dedication, and the inspiration that he brought to us as a nation. And, when he speaks, he's not just speaking to us here. He's speaking to us on an international level, because there are people who are, they once they gather some of this information, they are locked in. And, I know some of us are probably here, on the call in England, and I know some are like in Jamaica and elsewhere, and people are locked in, because this information is pivotal in our lives, and so I personally want to say thank you very much, and I wish you health on your path of recovery, and I know, this may take a little time, but you will be back in full force and in full health.
Okay. We affirm your words, Empress. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else? Islam, Justice.
Nadan, Sabis Bey. Listen, would you email me the Declaration of Trust and the Notice of Existence?
If you could go under some of the previous videos that we've done, it will be there. Some of the from maybe 3 years ago. Go to some of the videos from 3 to 4 years ago, and you'll find links under those videos to those documents.
Thank you.
Islam, indeed. Thank you for your demonstrations, nobility.
Thank you for having me.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Anyone else will to give honor to our great Sheik Taj?
Islam, Empress.
Islam, Empress Gloria.
Recorde Bey in Dallas, Texas. Dallas County, Texas Republic. Anyway, I'd like to give honors to Grande Sheik Taj Tarik Bey, and to acknowledge when I first heard that voice. It was very impressive, but how I heard the voice, I was listening to another thing on the computer, a video, and I fell asleep. And I heard this voice, and it woke me up. It was a very distinctive voice. And it said something about, it's not about racism, it's about birthright theft. And I'd heard a preacher had said that when I was about 9 or 10 years old. And I just sat up. I just sat up out of my sleep because I heard it while I was sleeping. And I said, he said birthright. So I'm going to listen until I can figure out why he said that. And that was about 2016, I think it was, 2016, 2017, I think it's 2016. And I have been diligently dedicated to whatever he said on the Friday nights and all those other ones when he was younger. And I'm grateful. I'm glad I found him. Islam.
Oh, we affirm your words, Empress Gloria. I don't know what caused my brother, Sage Bey, I don't know what caused him to listen. I don't know what captured his attention the day in 2017 that he was listening to Grande Sheik, and he had listened to Grande Sheik for about 2 days straight because he wanted to be sure he was hearing what he thought he was hearing. And then he called me. And to this day, I thank him for calling me. He called me and he said, sis, if what this guy says is true, everything we know was a lie. Everything they told us about who we are is a lie. And for this particular brother, because I have 6 very huge brothers, and for him to feel that way about anyone or anything, because we grew up in church, so we got used to hearing rhetoric. Not that all of it was rhetoric, but much of it was, and we knew rhetoric when we heard it. So for someone to say something like what Grande Sheik was saying, and for this particular brother to call me and say, you've got to hear this, you've got to hear this, it really caught my attention, so I listened. I could not believe ears. But it resonated with my truth center so heavily and so strong that I couldn't doubt what he was saying. Because what Grande Sheik was saying in a video on YouTube, it made everything, it's almost like you have all of these thoughts for all of these years, but you can't justify them because they don't match anything you've seen. They don't match any of the education you've had. I have 2 college degrees, all of that. The information didn't match anything that I had seen. It only resonated with my true center. That's how I knew it was true, and that's how I knew not to turn him off. Because my true center was ringing so loud I couldn't sleep. When I heard the spell broken over my life, and then me and my brother Sage, his sovereign born appellation is Randy Ritchie. When he and I heard and we began talking about it, we said, we've got to call my other brother, Mark, whom many of you know as Sheik Bey. We all came from the same Stargate. And when we called Sheik his true center, the 3 of us were born with true centers that, like yours, that truth just resonates loudly. It's almost like somebody standing next to you with this big bell, and they keep ringing it, and you can feel it throughout your whole being. Every cell is ringing. Every cell is vibrating. That's what happened when we heard the word for the gods. And so the 3 of us went on this journey, and everything happened so quickly that it's just amazing. And so we're just so grateful for our great Sheik. He sacrificed for so many years. He went without for so many years. All I could think was, where have these people been who sacrificed all these years with this information, and how in the world did they keep it a secret? How can you keep this information secret? He that hath an ear. That's right. We have to have an ear to hear it. We have to have an ear to hear it. How do you keep it from this many heirs that they're the heirs to all land, all natural resources, and all commerce? How do you do that? You put a bunch of distraction in their face. You put a bunch of rap music. Nothing wrong with all these things, but I'm just telling you what the distraction. You put the fiat, the rap music, the church, the work, the employment. You put those things in front of them, and then if that ain't working, you start throwing them in jail. That's how you keep them distracted from this gigantic truth. And you keep them fighting with one another. That's how you keep them distracted from the biggest truth in the universe. And Grande Sheik Taj just stood all those years, he just stood and just kept speaking and stood and kept speaking. Went to jail and kept speaking, like many of us. And we're so grateful because that's where we knew that, oh, this is real. This is real. Not even fake jails can stop us. This is real. Not even fake courts and fake policy enforcement. None of that can stop what we're doing. Wow. So we are so grateful for our great Sheik Taj. We are going to adjourn at this time, but we just want to say one more time before this adjournment until next Sunday. Grande Sheik Taj, we love you so much. We thank you so much. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Your words were not in vain. Your living has not been in vain. And we send you healing and love and peace and truth and justice. And I'll say this too. Did you want to say something, Justice Atiba?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. Oh, Justice Atiba. Oh. I'll say this. Are you there, Justice Atiba? Okay. I'll wait till he comes back. So I will say this as we adjourn. Hopefully, Justice Atiba will come back in before we adjourn. Islam nobility.
So I just want to say thank you to Taj Tarik, because when I first started to hear about Moorish information, I walked into 2 rooms to learn, and both of those rooms, people were trying to recontract us to do more of the same. And when I listened to him, what happened for me was I just felt somebody is speaking about something real about us.
Yes.
And somebody is telling me who I really am. And I decided I want to be a Moor. And I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I have continued that journey because Taji came one day to one of those platforms that I was in and said a few words, and I have followed her since. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I yield. My name is Shabazz.
Empress Islam, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I don't know why we're laughing, Empress, but it feels good. It feels really good. Islam. Grande Sheik is the one man at earth that the first time I laid eyes on him, I told him I loved him. He's the only one on earth that has ever happened to.
I hope you rocked in hell too.
But I just felt like I knew him from the videos and the phone conversations and things. I just felt and it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. We're so grateful to our great for all that he has done for our nation.
Rot in hell, Taj.
With that being stated, if there be nothing further from this Congress, this holy, holy, holy Congress, we will adjourn until next Sunday at 6 p.m. Taj, we love you so much. Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Islam.
Islam, peace and grace. Much love.
Harmony and love.
Islam, we love you, Taj.
We love you, Taj.
We love you.
Islam, glad to be here with you. Much gratitude. Much gratitude.
A million thank you to you, Taj.
Love you, Taj.
Endless thank yous to you, Taj.
Gratitude, Taj.
Gratitude, Taj.
Islam, Taj.